Chapter 3: The Courtyard of Cobras. The household was assembled for tea in the courtyard. A habit, Poirot was told, that had been maintained since the days of the Maharaja's grandfather, who had developed a taste for British custom without surrendering a single Indian principle. A long table had been laid beneath a silk awning. Attendants moved silently between chairs, serving sweetened lime water, chai, and delicate savouries in silver trays. Poirot arrived with Nikhil at his side and paused at the threshold. The courtyard was beautiful, in the way old places are, cracked but dignified. Vines climbed the pillars. A fountain murmured in the centre, dry except for a single stone basin where two peacocks stood, their feathers a sheen of green and indigo. Against one wall sat a carved bench where a boy of perhaps 10 sat drawing with chalk on slate. His dark eyes flicked to Poirot once, and then back to the slate.
That is the Prince, Jai Singh. His mother was the third wife.
The child who has ceased to speak.
Since the night she died.
They stepped forward. Chairs were arranged in a half-circle. The Maharaja was absent, but most of the royal household appeared to be present. Nikhil made brief introductions. First, the eldest son, Colonel Rajesh Singh, by a previous marriage. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a military posture and an expression like sun-bleached stone.
A loyalist, but with little patience for tradition,
said Nikhil to Poirot. Then, Lady Rukmini, sister to the Maharaja. Dressed in pale green, with a chain of emeralds at her throat and a look of infinite condescension. She nodded once to Poirot, as if acknowledging an experiment that had not yet failed. Next was Dr. Dev Mishra, the palace physician. Clean-shaven, with pince-nez glasses and nervous hands. He offered a hesitant handshake.
We've tried everything. There is no pathology. None.
Poirot took note of the man's twitching left eye. And then, stepping forward with a kind of theatrical elegance, came Miss Anna Masterson, an Englishwoman in her 30s, with copper hair and a pale dress of French muslin.
The Prince's governess.
I read about you in the Strand. You solved that dreadful affair at the Opera House, didn't you?
I have solved many dreadful affairs.
And some not so dreadful, I imagine. Here in Chawahal, we must be prepared for either.
It is always wise.
Finally, Nikhil gestured to a man sitting apart from the rest, near the boy, Acharya Vamo, a temple priest and family advisor. Dressed in white, with a long, pale beard and eyes that had the steady calm of someone who watched more than he spoke. He did not rise, but he did incline his head.
Acharya Verma has served the royal family for 40 years. He was present at all 3 deaths.
Poirot seated himself. Tea was poured. The silence stretched longer than it should have, like a string drawn too tight. Poirot broke it gently.
I understand there have been tragedies.
Dr. Mishra cleared his throat.
Yes. Sudden cardiac failure. All 3 cases. No toxins, no sign of trauma. Just collapse.
And no witnesses.
In each case, someone was nearby. But no one saw anything,
said Rukmini. The governess spoke softly.
Her Highness was reading aloud to the prince. I had gone to fetch his drawing board. When I returned, she was gone.
Gone.
Not dead. At first. Just collapsed, her hand on the cushion. She looked asleep.
And the cousin?
Devdan Singh was reading in the library. The servant found him. Still had a book in his lap.
A book?
Manuscript history. Some dull genealogical thing.
Curious. A family tree, perhaps.
Yes.
Poirot glanced at the priest.
And the Brahmin scholar.
Acharya Vamo spoke at last. His voice was low, like wind through hollow stone.
Found in the inner temple. Face down before the goddess. No wound. No blood. But his face was contorted, as if he had seen something not meant for human eyes.
A silence followed this. Poirot took another sip of tea and looked toward the boy. The chalk in his hand had stilled. He was watching Poirot now, directly. And Poirot, with the strangest chill, felt the sudden certainty that the boy knew something. Not guessed. Knew. He rose.
I should like to speak with the prince.
Lady Rukmini frowned.
That would be most unwise. He has not said a word in weeks.
Poirot smiled gently.
Then perhaps it is time he listened to someone who speaks quite a lot.